Hello everybody. Today is the first day that we're going to work on the finish kit. We start with the canopy. We've completed all the work at the horizontal and vertical stabilizers. So now it's time to move the horizontal stabilizers and also the vertical stabilizers and the rudder onto the homemade attic, and we can start with the finish kit. So the finish kit is one of the smaller kits, although it's a lot of work because there are a lot of details. It mainly includes the landing gear and everything related to the canopy, and especially that last one is very intensive in a lot of work that you need to do there. So we decided to use to build a sliding canopy. So it's a slider, so it slides the canopy aft instead of a tip-up canopy, which is the other option that you can have on a Vans aircraft. And yeah, this is the frame, the canopy frame of the bubble. You can see on the top laying the fiberglass of the plexiglass, and you have to cut it in two. That will be done later. We are now starting with looking how we should install the canopy. And well, the first task is that we have to turn around again the airplane. So we worked all the way on the tail cone, right, on the empennage, but that's all done now. However, to be able to work on the canopy, we first need to turn around the airplane. So we'll do that shortly. And we're trying to figure out what steps have to be taken. It's always good if you start a new kit or new part of the kits to read ahead and see what problems you encounter. If you don't, yeah, you'll probably forget something or do something too much, drill too early or whatever, and then you have a problem. Next step after reading is trying to get all the drawings that belong together. Okay, here we're turning the plane around. We do that outside because the workshop is too small to do that. So you can see that we have now turned it around, and now we have enough room and space to work on the canopy. First step is to determine the point where the roll bar is going to be positioned. It is relative to some rivets in the longeron. So we're making marks on the longerons to know where we need to place the roll bar. You have to do it on both sides, of course. And it's important that the roll bar is not only at the right place, but also perpendicular to the longeron. We'll do that later. So drilling the holes for the roll bar and making, yeah, not shims, but more like placeholders. So on the bottom side, which you cannot see, there are longerons, and you have special pieces of aluminum that fit into the hole of the longeron, but you have to cut them to fit inside the longeron and the deck, the canopy deck. That's hard, and I made a mistake there. I interchanged the left and the right one, and then you have an issue. So that means that we have well, a little bit, we had to change it a little bit in order to make it fit, but it worked out okay, so no problem there. Here we have trimmed and deburred everything. Turns out that you can only insert these things if you have riveted already the top skin. So the top skin on the forward side, you need to rivet that. But if you would install these bolts and nuts, then there's no way that you can reach the rivet holes anymore. And that's actually a problem, because we want to finish several parts, but everything hinges on the fact that we need top skin to be installed. But I don't want to install top skin, because if I do that, then there's no way that you can reach anything anymore. For instance, like the place where the fuel system should go, or the avionics. But because I'm prolonging the time that I don't have the top skin in there, everything else is waiting for that. So that's an issue in itself. It's not a big problem, but the list is getting bigger and bigger of parts that we need to hold until the top skin is done. So this will, I have to install the fuel system and several avionics as soon as I can, because else I will have a huge list of all things that are waiting for the top skin to be done. And that's not very useful. As you can see here, I've still got the battery installed. I think I will remove that, because there's no use in just let it hang there. That just won't work. Okay, so that's the roll bar. The roll bar is there to have the windshield, the front windshield, and it's also, as the name already says, the roll bar, right? So it should prevent, if you somehow tip over, that something terrible will happen. The roll bar wasn't really straight, so I'm trying to bend it a little bit. I've seen other builders, there's actually a top skin there. I've seen other builders that they cut parts out of the top skin because the roll bar is sticking out too much. I don't want that, because I don't want to cut into the top skin. There is another epoxy fiberglass mold coming over it, but I don't want to cut it anyway. I don't like that. So I had to bend a little bit into the roll bar, which is very hard because it's steel. It's not aluminum. The white parts are mostly steel. That's because they have to be very strong. And it's not very easy to bend it or torque it, because it's more like a torque instead of a bend. Here we're connecting our laptop and a endoscope to check if everything is okay. It's actually an endoscope built for a mobile phone. It's a very cheap endoscope, but it works really good if you want to look into narrow places that you have in an airplane, or places where you can just not reach in. It's easy to use an endoscope. So now we're drilling the holes into the roll bar through the holes that we already drilled earlier into the longerons. We've done it now, and now we're enlarging the holes into the roll bar, so the bolts can go in, which is good. You need to construct shims under the roll bar mount if it's not completely perpendicular to the longerons. We'll see that later. But for now, we're just fitting it and drilling all the holes. The roll bar, the bottom plate of the roll bar, as you can see, is sticking over in the inside, which is very inconvenient, because if you're sitting there and you could hurt yourself. So the parts where it's sticking over the inboard flanges, we cut it off. We saw pieces off, and then we file them and grind them down until it's nice and flat. Still following the manual, as you can see. So you can see this is just the roll bar. It's nothing with, not the canopy, and it's already a lot of work. It took a whole day working on the roll bar, and it's not done. It's just first fit. So yeah, the canopy is going to be a lot of work. Okay, we can now insert the bolts, and then we have to install the forward fuselage, so we can enter the top skin and have the roll bar connected to the forward fuselage. As you can see, we're installing now the forward fuselage, which is a part connected to the firewall and which also has the panel attached to it. And this is actually where the avionics should go. So yeah, it's still a little puzzle. You can see there is the connecting bar, the connecting rod, which goes through the skin. So that's why we installed top skin, because there is a hole in it that this connecting bar goes through. And we are going to saw off the part that is too long, so it fits really nice. Okay, continuing building my pie in the sky.